We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell.
Hey, welcome in. Thursday edition, Bruce Hooley Show, September 12th edition. Wow, an anniversary of sorts for me. This is the day last year that I found out I had a tumor in my brain, but God is good because I'm here and ready to do the show, and I hear the band playing. So, as the great Mills Lane once said, let's get it on. Great to have you with us on a Thursday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show here on 98.9 The Answer. We have a deal of sorts, although I think it stinks, for the whistleblower who exposed how deep the Columbus data breach goes, how many people it impacts. We'll tell you about that. We're going to try to get to the bottom of what's really going on in Springfield, Ohio. It's one thing to listen to politicians and the statements that they issue. It's one thing to listen to the governor who, let's see, does Mike DeWine have a vested interest in Springfield maybe not being portrayed as the illegal immigration train wreck that it is? I mean, after all, if it is an immigration train wreck, if there are rampant accidents and cultural clashes that lead to some of the bad things that we've heard about in Springfield, would that reflect well on the governor or poorly on the governor? So we'll get to all of that, and we'll have a lot more related to the presidential debate. The fact checkers are busy, and the impact of the presidential debate. But let's start with the whistleblower deal. City of Columbus, well, they're now trying to make friends with the man who confounded the statements of Mayor Andrew Ginther, who said that all the data that was taken first was not taken, and then 2 weeks later, yeah, it was taken, but it was encrypted. Except it wasn't encrypted, and it's out there on the dark web right now because the city wouldn't pay to get it back. Wouldn't pay less than $2 million. And again, they've given 5 times that much to the families of people shot by Columbus police. I won't call them victims because that hasn't been proven in court yet. If police officers are found guilty in those cases, then the families will be victims and the people who were shot will be victims. But as of yet, they are not victims, and the city found $10 million in its couch cushions to give to those families, but they couldn't spend 1.7 million to keep your data from being on the dark web. We know that because of this whistleblower. He goes by the name Connor Goodwolf. It's not his real name. I don't see any point in giving you his real name, but I see a point in giving you the real name of the city attorney, Zach Klein, who looks bad in this, as does the mayor, Andrew Ginther. And they don't like looking bad. They have a stranglehold on being reelected to the offices in which they serve, or any office to which they aspire, as long as it's a Columbus City office, because this city stinks of Democrats who are idiots or uninformed voters, because they continue to put in office people like Andrew Ginther and Zach Klein and Shannon Hardin and on and on and on and on. But now the city has sort of kissed and made up with Connor Goodwolf. They have agreed on a preliminary injunction that will, to my knowledge, keep Goodwolf under the thumb of the city. They're still suing him for $25,000 for disclosing this information, which, do you find that curious? I find that very curious. Zach Klein, the city attorney, has portrayed this as Connor Goodwolf doing something heinous and evil and terrible by hearing Andrew Ginther say that all the data was encrypted and unusable, and then using his computer skills to prove that untrue, going to the media, and again, the media is a conduit of information to you. Connor Goodwolf doesn't know your name. He wouldn't be able to come to your house, your door, and say, hey, your data's been exposed. So he goes to the television stations in town and to the Dispatch, and then they report it. And unfortunately, if you're still a Dispatch subscriber, or if you watch local news, that's how you found out that, hey, if I'm an undercover police officer, guess what? All the bad guys know where I live now. They know my bank account numbers. They know my social security number. Oh, if I'm a crime victim, then a sexual assault victim, for instance, the person who I'm hiding from, now they know where I live. If I've been a witness in a case, the police reports are online, and maybe somebody went to prison because of what I told the police. And now they're out, and they probably like to know where I am. Well, they can go on the dark web and find out. Connor Goodwolf did the solid of letting everybody know that. The city sued him for it. And they sued him for $25,000. Now, if he did a lot of damage, wouldn't they sue him for like $25 million or $2.5 million or $250,000? They sued him for $25,000, which tells you that he really didn't do any damage. It's just a message. To Connor Goodwolf, I'm not sure, I don't know the man, but I presume $25,000, a lot of money. Very inconvenient. To the city of Columbus to get back to recoup the damages he did to the city, is $25,000 really that significant? No, of course not. It's a message being sent. Nice life you have here, Connor. Too bad if something happened to it. The mob operates like this. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that the city of Columbus does too. So they have an agreement now, yet they are still suing him for 25 grand, that according to Zach Klein, a dishonest broker and a doofus, will protect sensitive data from being spread while allowing Goodwolf to maintain a dialogue with who? The media? Oh, with the city regarding the breach. So now he tried to reach them, remember, and they ignored him. He called them 4 times. They wouldn't talk to him. Who's this idiot? Then he went to the media, and all of a sudden he ceased to be an idiot because he exposed who the real idiots were. So they sue him, and they get letters from all over the globe, and they get crushed by even the woke fools at the Columbus Dispatch over suing this guy. And so they strike a deal with him where it sure looks to me like they've taken away his freedom of speech or restricted it severely. Now it says that the deal allows him to show that data to show his data that he finds online. He can show it to certain Columbus police officers or the city's attorneys, and he can openly discuss any part of the leak. I thought you said he was restricted in his freedom of speech, Bruce. Wait. He can openly discuss any part of the leak that the city agrees falls under the Ohio Public Records Act. So he has to go to the principal's office and ask permission from Principal Ginther or Assistant Principal Klein before he can speak freely. What a bunch of garbage this is. You know, I have observed over my years as a reporter, first in newspapers and then in radio, many instances of things that happen that require somebody to take ownership of the mistake. And I'm trying to think of a good example of where somebody just owned the mistake up front and turned a bad thing into a one-day news cycle. And honestly, I can't think of one, because the mistake that everyone makes, and they make it over and over and over again. And most of my experience in these matters are in sports, like with Pete Rose on the gambling, or with Ohio State on Maurice Claret, or Ohio State on Jim O'Brien in basketball cheating, or with Urban Meyer and the whole assistant coach who had a domestic violence past, or anything. Instead of saying, full disclosure, here's what happened, here's what went on, including, by the way, this latest example, the Columbus data breach. They go into maximum protection mode. They turtle up, go into their shell, won't admit anything. And what does that accomplish? What it accomplishes is it turns every subsequent headline about that mistake into major news. Whereas if you were in full disclosure, ownership, my fault, this is how it happened mode, which never happens again, you get all the bad headlines out there. There's nothing else left to disclose. There are no second day headlines. You can move past it, move on, get it fixed, apologize. But of course, leadership demands accountability, and we don't have leadership in the city of Columbus. We just don't. Well, we have bad leadership in the city of Columbus. And this is Universal, NBC4, great report in NBC4.com today. Talk about how other cities, other states, the same thing has happened. There's a story about a guy in Iowa who was hired by the city working in the courthouse, downloaded some information, alarm bells went off. He got arrested. Did somebody swoop in and go, oh, no, he's with us. He's good. No. They sued him, took him to court, and on the last day before the case went to court, they dismissed him. They twisted him. They made him go through the ringer, and it certainly appears that's what the city of Columbus is going to do with Connor Goodwolf. I feel bad for this guy. You know, he's being unjustly persecuted. He is being made a scapegoat because of how poorly the city of Columbus planned its cybersecurity and protected the sensitive data of up to 500,000 citizens, including crime victims, domestic violence victims, undercover police officers, or anyone who just was civically interested enough to attend a city council meeting, swipe their driver's license, and walked in. Why is the city keeping that information for the better part of a decade? And the only answer I can think of is so bad people can steal it on the internet and try to get your bank accounts, take out a second loan in your name. But they firmly got him under control now. They're threatening the lawsuit. They're still pressing the lawsuit, and they have to give him permission to speak.
Cloudy, hot afternoon, high 90, partly cloudy tonight, and the low 64. Partly sunny, warm day tomorrow, the high 86. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low again at 64. Partly sunny, warm, scattered thunderstorms on Saturday, high Saturday 87. And then Saturday night, clear, low 66. Sunshine, a few clouds around on Sunday, high 86. Monday, sun, few clouds, and the high 83. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Car payments, credit card payments, home loans. Man, that's a lot of debt for you to carry. Let us help you get caught up when you enter the $18,000 Get Caught Up Sweepstakes. The grand prize winner gets up to $10,000 in debt relief. 3 first prize winners will get up to $1,000 in debt relief, and 10 second prize winners will get $500 in debt relief. That's $18,000 total, and that could be you.
Enter the Get Caught Up Sweepstakes at 989theanswer.com.
Hi, it's Bruce Hooley, and if you've ever noticed, your body is designed to heal itself. You have a paper cut, you don't go to the doctor, you just count on your body to do what it's naturally designed to do. The same principle applies with bigger injuries. I'm talking about those achy joints, supposed bone-on-bone arthritis that there's no cure for other than being tethered to conventional medicine forever. Not the case. My friends at QC Kinetics, their Dublin and Gahanna locations, can perhaps get you out of that pain with advanced regenerative therapies. They withdraw your blood, separate the healing agents, they're called platelets, and then they reinsert them at strategic intervals to help you get out of pain. It's worked for thousands of people across the U.S. and now is available to you via a free consultation at QC Kinetics in Dublin and Gahanna. Call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. One more time on the number, 380-208-4544. Get out of pain by pursuing healing at QC Kinetics.
You'll sleep better knowing you got a great deal on a great mattress because you got it from Mac Mattress Outlet and the Discount Shopping Club. Right now, get a $500 certificate from Mac Mattress Outlet for any mattress purchase for only $250. These certificates go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. For details, log on to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com.
Mattress Outlet.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out hard-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
For complete details, visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Before the most pivotal election of our lifetime, the Battleground Talkers Tour comes to Columbus. Be a part of the critical conversations that will influence the direction of America. See Bruce Hooley, Hugh Hewitt, Mike Gallagher, Larry Elder, and special guests live on stage Tuesday, October 22nd at Genoa Church in Westerville. The Battleground Talkers Tour. Tickets start at just $5 and are available now at 989theanswer.com.
Yeah, we can hook you up if you are interested in the nuances of politics, and we hope you'll join us at Genoa. I hope you'll go to brucehooley.com and click flooring in the upper right-hand corner of the page if you have an interest in upgrading the flooring in your home. You can do it with name brand flooring, all the major brands, the ones you see in the big-time flooring stores that, well, they have really high rent because they're in really high traffic locations, and they have wrapped vehicles, and they have multiple levels of management. And here's the dirty little secret. They make it look like their prices are cheap because they say they sell their carpet by the square foot, but no one sells carpet by the square foot. You order it from the mill by the square yard. So multiply that price by 9 because there are 9 square feet in a square yard. If they're trying to trick you up front, what do they do to you on the back end? That will not happen when you get flooring from me at brucehooley.com. So click flooring in the upper right-hand corner of the page. We'll get it in faster too. Save you money, get it in faster too. What's not to love? Flooring from brucehooley.com is to love. Get it by going to brucehooley.com. So the way journalism is supposed to work is that you are supposed to go out and talk to what are called sources. Sources can be everyday citizens. You're not supposed to just take one side. In fact, journalism, the way it's supposed to work, is supposed to be an enterprise where maybe somebody in power tells you something, and then you go and investigate that and see if it's true. That is not how journalism is working. In the case of Springfield, Ohio, we saw that on the debate stage the other night, where David Muir, the fashion catalog model from ABC, and his Fact Check Barbie cohort were dismissive of Donald Trump, who, again, gave them a reason to dismiss him by talking about dogs and cats rather than talking about what is actually going on in Springfield, which is the city has been overrun by Haitian immigrants. The city of Springfield is about 58,000 people. They have flown in over the border in a program that Kamala Harris has trumpeted, 15 to 20,000 Haitian migrants, illegals, into Springfield. An 11-year-old boy has lost his life because of it, and there has been other loss of life because of it, as I will prove to you in just a moment. But it appears that the esteemed national nose-in-the-air media are just going to rely on a statement issued by Springfield City Manager Brian Heck, who says that no dogs, no cats are harmed in the invasion of Springfield, Ohio. Governor DeWine is also sort of playing into this, where he's come out of his hiding place to say, I think we should take the word of the city manager and the mayor that they found no credible evidence of the story of Haitians eating pets. That information is now very, very public. So I'm not specifically calling them up to tell them something that's clearly very, very public. I think, again, we listen to the people who live in the community. Well, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth there, little Mike, because if you listen to the people who live in the community, they will tell you that this is going on, but it doesn't even really matter if that is what's going on. Not that I'm not a pet lover. We have dogs, we have cats. I don't want to see them eaten by Haitians. I don't want to see them eaten by anyone. What is indisputable is that Springfield is struggling in myriad ways because of these Haitians being forced upon the city with no resources from the federal government to handle it. Let's just, as the great Warner Wolf once said, go to the videotape. While David Muir and Fact Check Barbie were teaming up with Kamala Harris against Donald Trump in that debate, the Springfield City Commission was holding a meeting. Same night. Chambers were crowded. And a woman got up to speak. And this is what she said.
Everyone is talking about the death of ducks and cats in this town, but I'd like to talk about the death of one very special person, my mother-in-law, Kathy Heaton. On December 1st, I received a phone call that changed my life forever. She was collecting her trash can from her driveway when a car struck and killed her instantly. A task she had done over 2,000 times, spanning 4 decades in Springfield. That morning, though, a Haitian immigrant was allegedly driving recklessly when he struck and killed her. I say allegedly because to this day, there's been no punishment, not even for the expired tags on the vehicle he was driving. Months before she was killed, I began noticing the reckless driving and complete disregard for our driving laws by some members of the Haitian community. It made me angry, but now my anger has turned to fear for the safety of my family and the citizens of Springfield. I'd been to Haiti 14 years ago. My husband and I went, and it was my first time in a third world country. I sobbed when I saw the poverty living there, and I have great empathy and compassion for them, longing for a safe place to call home. But 14 years later, I'm living in fear in my own city. It's not safe. I am paralyzed with anxiety when I'm getting my children out of the car in any parking lot, walking on any sidewalk, and driving on any road in this town. I'm haunted by the faces I saw when I had to bear the news to my children and husband that she was dead. Their grandmother, the very person who tucked my 7-year-old twins into bed just 6 hours before on her 71st birthday, was never coming back. What everyone has feared is my reality, and it's my grief, and it should be yours as well. It saddens me greatly to think about leaving a place I've made a home, raised my children, became an active member of this community by providing medical care to the underprivileged and underserved, volunteering, serving on boards, and cheering for the success of the city. But just as the Haitians were seeking a safe place to call home, I now have found myself in that same situation, wanting to abandon this city and all my efforts above in search for a safe place to raise my family. We need to change the laws for immigrants wanting to obtain a driver's license in Ohio.
Yeah, well, we need a lot more than that. Her pain is not going to be conveyed to you on any major network because it counteracts the narrative. It contradicts the narrative. It proves the narrative that everything is fine in Springfield. No dogs, no cats are being eaten, no geese are being killed. Another resident of Springfield, a retired school teacher, was on Fox and Friends this morning. She was asked, what's it like to live in Springfield?
It's like living in a dystopian nightmare. You hope you wake up and it's 2019 again, and then you realize it's 2024, and it's the same thing over and over again, day after day. It's hard sometimes to get up in the morning and hear residents that I've known for years struggle. This is a paycheck to paycheck kind of town, working class, and the citizens that depend on our social services, like healthcare, a rocking horse, going down to the Social Security office for benefits, are waiting in line, and they're not getting the services they need. And it breaks my heart to see people that I taught and their children experiencing this. So I took it upon myself to make sure that I showed up at every city commission meeting pleading our case. And if it took something like this to get the spotlight flashed on us, then so be it. We've needed help, but for several years, and maybe we're going to finally get it. The sad thing is it's more of my money being spent on a problem that we did not create.
She's exactly right. The lines at the office where people go to get government benefits, job and family services, are overrun. You heard the tape the other day that I played for you of the security officer there when he was interviewed by a citizen journalist saying the ratio of Haitians to actual American citizens is 9-to-1. You heard a veteran say, I'm trying to get my veterans benefits. I can't get them because they're giving them out to people who didn't fight for this country and serve for this country like I did.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The Los Angeles area was shaken up by an earthquake this morning. The 4.7 magnitude quake felt across a wide area, and damage checks are underway. A surge in the number of foreign-born people living in the U.S. The Census Bureau says 14.3% of those in the country in 2023 were born somewhere else. It's the highest percentage of foreign-born residents since 1910. Francine may no longer be a hurricane, but forecasters warn it is still dangerous, moving now into Mississippi and Alabama, dumping a lot of rain. Fresh off their debate, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris hitting the campaign trail today. They're rallying voters in a couple of key swing states. Trump is in Arizona, Harris in North Carolina. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is down 66 points, the NASDAQ 42 points higher. More details at srnnews.com.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action.
He knows firsthand what it's like to live under communism. That's why he'll boldly tell you that America truly is the shining city on the hill. He's Sebastian Gorka, and he's on America First, weekday afternoons from 3 to 5 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Donald Trump's indictment proves that saving America is not going to be easy. There are entrenched powers that are fighting this with everything they've got. They want to keep control over the country, the narrative, and the nation's money supply. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnow. I'm a news analyst, a Christian author, and evangelical leader. I speak to millions of people every week, people just like you. You see, what the elites are doing is using inflation and government handouts and now central bank digital currencies to determine how they're going to control America. And that's why I recommend all Christians start a gold IRA from the Birch Gold Group. Because physical precious metals are one of the few ways you can maintain control over your own savings. To get a free info kit on gold IRAs, text the word faith to 989898. Birch Gold Group is the only gold company I trust. Get their free info kit and you'll see why a gold IRA can help you. There are no strings attached. Text the word faith to 989898 and you're going to be blessed by taking action right now.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If you're a local business and ready to take the next step, Google Salem Surround Columbus right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM. The Answer. Anywhere you go with The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
October the 22nd, Genoa Christian Fellowship, Westerville. Mark your calendars. It's the Battleground Talkers Tour. Yes, returning to Central Ohio. 7 cities, 6 states. We are one of them. How are we so fortunate? Well, don't ask questions. Just get tickets. Go to 9890theanswer.com. General admission tickets are $5. But you'd love to meet Larry Elder, wouldn't you? You'd love to meet Mike Gallagher. I mean, maybe even you'd like to say hi to me. I'll be there. Jack Windsor, who hosts the Windsor Report here on the station from 5 to 6 p.m. every night. We'll all be part of it. So will Hugh Hewitt. You can talk to Hugh about how his favorite senator is Rob Portman. Oh, boy, what a conversation that would be. Buy your VIP tickets with the promo code Bruce25 at 989theanswer.com. Bruce25 at 989theanswer.com and join us October the 22nd for the Battleground Talkers Tour at Genoa Christian Fellowship. It's going to be a great night. I promise. Join us. Buy your tickets, 989theanswer.com. So a little more on Springfield, because it's important that you know so you can talk to your neighbors. Again, you got to be educated. You got to, pray about the upcoming election. You got to pray about the upcoming election. You got to pray that God will give us another chance as a nation to recognize our potential and to return to serving him. Our nation has been blessed. We sing God bless America because he has. But I mean, you look at history, nations that have turned their face away from God, they suffer the consequences of their actions. We are not choosing that collectively as a nation. We're not, rather, I should say, we're not choosing it individually. You're not choosing it. I'm not choosing it. I know of many God-fearing people who have Christ at the center of their lives. Listen to this show. And you're as troubled as I am about it. You wake up, or if you sleep at all, you sleep fitfully thinking about it. You get up in the morning, you pray about it, you search the scriptures trying to find wisdom and how you bear up under it and how you talk about it. I go through that. You go through that. But collectively, as a country, we are walking away from God. We see it in, look, right here in our own state. Legalized gambling, legalized marijuana, expanded abortion. We are a culture that is defying the will of God. And so we may experience the consequences. Or God may decide to give us another chance, return to him. And Donald Trump's not the savior, okay? He's not the savior, but his policies are much more aligned with common sense and truth. Whether he knows truth comes from God or not, I don't know, but I know it does. You know it does. His policies are much more aligned with truth. So Springfield, Ohio is a microcosm. Springfield was the big town where I grew up. Springfield was the big town. It's 30 miles south of my hometown of West Liberty. It had the Upper Valley Mall. South and North High School. When I grew up, they were AAA high schools. That's not a rating of their academic prowess. It's a rating of their size. And I go watch them play basketball. And I remember vividly going to Troy's Hobart Arena when I was like 10 years old, watching South play North High School for, I think, the either district championship or regional championship. And it was like another world to a country boy like me. Well, now it's another world too. It's like a Haitian world in Springfield, Ohio. And it's not racist to say that the kind of immigration that has overrun Springfield is not good for Springfield. Because again, immigration works as it worked in America in its formative years because people came to our country believing in the American dream and wanting to assimilate into American culture and adopt American values. Now, no, we're going to have our own neighborhood. We're going to have Somali neighborhoods. We're going to have this neighborhood, that neighborhood. And they had that back in the heyday of immigration in Cleveland too, but they weren't just places that prioritized, their Italian heritage, their Polish heritage, their Slavic heritage, but they bought into the American dream. That's not happening now. And the clash of cultures is, I think, explained very, very well in this video that I found online today from a woman whose father came to the United States of America from Haiti. And she talks about the clash of cultures and the trouble that that brings, not just to a city like Springfield, and not just with Haitians, but with people who come from Venezuela and other countries to the United States when they don't assimilate.
My father immigrated from Haiti to the United States in the late 60s as a teenager. And I want to talk about these recent comments about the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio. I also want to say my father and I are now estranged, but I did know him in my very, very young years. And when he immigrated, he was one person and they weren't sending, thousands of Haitians in one area. He wasn't eating people's pets and he didn't practice voodoo. But he did say that most of the island, the majority of the island, does practice voodoo. The reason they eat cats is for two reasons. Number one is survival. This is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. You can't just go to a food bank like you can here, or just go to McDonald's and get some free or cheap food, unless, of course, there's a Christian missionary there. People in the United States have a really hard time imagining that type of thing, but it is true. Second, they do animal sacrifices for their religion, voodoo. They make these animal sacrifices to these gods for different reasons. You can do your own research on this. Do I think voodoo is a demonic religion? Yes, I do. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you hate these people. These people need prayer. But you can't just take over all these people from another country and expect it to work. Not to mention, it doesn't fix the problems of that country.
That's all true, 100% true. And the people in Springfield, Ohio are living with that reality. People around the country are living with that reality. And it's a reality the Democrats don't want to fix because the Democrats are above the consequences. The people who allow these policies are people who are above these consequences. They are, as I've referred to them before, as luxury beliefs. They are beliefs they can afford to have that the people of Springfield cannot afford to have. Now, another luxury belief that Kamala Harris can afford to have, and Joe Biden can afford to have, and Chuck Schumer can afford to have, and David Muir and Fact Check Barbie can afford to have, is that, oh, crime is not out of hand in the inner city. Crime is not out of hand in the United States of America. In fact, President Trump, as you well know, the FBI says crime is down. Years ago, there was a book written, How to Lie with Statistics. That's what they're doing here. When they say that crime is down in America, specifically that violent crime is at a 50-year low. Is that true or is that not true? Well, statistically, you can make the argument that it is true. How is it true? Because violent crime is actually down? No. No. Violent crime statistics are down because less than a year after taking office, the Biden-Harris administration had the FBI change its policies on long-standing crime reporting. They replaced the old system in 2021 with a new system which made it, listen to the word, optional for state and local law enforcement agencies to use. Optional. You didn't have to report your crime statistics anymore. How has that worked out? At least 6,000 law enforcement agencies aren't providing any data, meaning that about a quarter of the law enforcement agencies in America's largest cities is not captured, reported, or disclosed by the FBI. It is deliberate underreporting. It's actually 6,097, almost 6,100 police agencies, which is more than a fourth of all police agencies. In New York City, another way they depress the crime statistics is to downgrade felony charges to misdemeanor charges. In New York, they do that 52% of the time. Another way they do it, or at least how they do that, is to get a Soros-backed prosecutor, a George Soros-backed prosecutor, into office in America's major cities. There are 70 of them on the job right now, helping to depress the crime numbers. Now, in the city of Chicago, we have ShotSpotter here in Columbus. They hear shots fired on some system. Police are notified. They go to the area immediately. In Chicago, there are so many people shot, an average of about 70 a weekend, that police only respond if they also get a report that somebody's been hit by gunfire. Here, a shot is fired in Columbus, Ohio. That's enough. In Chicago, it is not. Why are they putting National Guard troops in the subways in New York City if violent crime is not out of control? Anybody answer that? Have you seen the videos from Philadelphia, from San Francisco, with drug addicts and all kinds of things, Seattle, all kinds of, have you seen videos of people walking down the street, somebody's, on their phone, reading something, not paying attention, trying not to look at a crazy person walking up to them, and the crazy person just reaches back and smacks them in the head and knocks them out cold. Seen those videos? Did you see them before Joe Biden took office? I mean, I'm sure they happen, but they sure happen a lot now. But violent crime is down. Don't ask any questions. We've got the numbers. We can prove it. We read the book, How to Lie with Statistics. It's all in your imagination until it happens to you. Then, like that woman in Springfield who lost her mom and her kid's grandma, well, then it's very, very real.
Sunny to partly cloudy, a hot afternoon, the high 90, partly cloudy tonight and the low 64. Partly sunny, warm day tomorrow, the high 86. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low again at 64. Partly sunny, warm, scattered thunderstorms on Saturday, high Saturday 87. And then Saturday night, clear, low 66. Sunshine, a few clouds around on Sunday, high 80.
I just turned 32 weeks pregnant. Am I able to come in for an abortion ASAP? Can I still have an abortion at 34 weeks? Yes, and I just have to do it intake. Do you have about 5 minutes? Sure, I have 5 minutes. Yeah, I just found out that she could have Down syndrome. I can still have the abortion, right, even though she has Down syndrome? Yeah, so we just have to do an intake because the doctor... It doesn't matter. That's late-term abortion, ma'am. That's abortion in the 8th month of pregnancy. That's discriminatory based on someone's genetic code. She just confirmed. She was...
Outside of Washington, D.C. But that's the real Sherrod Brown. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate leadership unpaid responsible for the content of this advertising. Not upright by any candidate or candidate committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Are you under the impression that a metal roof costs 2 or 3 times more than a shingle roof? No, it doesn't. Hi folks, I'm Dan Tolan, owner of The Metal Roof Company. As your foremost metal roofing authority in Central Ohio, I can promise you it's the most inexpensive roof you'll ever buy because it's the last roof you'll ever buy. With lifetime warranties and a variety of financing options, give us a call at 721-ROOF, 721-ROOF, or reach out to us on the web at themetalroofcompany.com.
The Tilton family at Tilton's Automotive Service has been serving our community with state-of-the-art equipment for nearly 35 years. From oil changes to detailing to complete engine replacement, we're here to serve you to the highest levels and make you part of the family. All our repairs are backed by a 36-month, 36,000-mile warranty. Check out our mobile app for discounts and specials. Tilton's Automotive Service, in the shadow of Anheuser-Busch in Columbus and just off Creekside in Gahanna. For more info, check out tiltonsauto.com. Take it to Tilton's.
Dennis Prager here. Join me on an unforgettable cruise to the Caribbean this November. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Turks and Caicos, and Joshua. We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell, and we'll both be sharing insights into current events in a way I hope your drivers can challenge. For your spot before space runs out by calling 855-565-2519 or book online at PragerCruise.com. This is Dennis Prager, and now a truly exciting new benefit. My monthly online video get-together for Pragertopia Plus members only. For an hour each month, get an exclusive chance to ask me anything. I'll be answering your questions. I've never done this. Submit your questions for me at Pragertopia.com. It's our chance to connect like never before. Go to Pragertopia.com or click the banner at DennisPrager.com.
That decision to limit future options. They enough that decision to use it to destroy your life. Listen to The Flock with your host Rick Hooley. Today for our 98.9 FM The Answer. The Flock describes the main line of resistance in your soul with God's Word. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all about the inspiration. That's The Flock with Rick Hooley. Sunday mornings at 8, right here on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
Well, the big inflation numbers came out today, and the prices are continuing to rise, incrementally so, but they're not going down like they say they are. You know that. You already know that. You've experienced it at the gas pump and at the grocery store. We are trying to help. That's why we have the $13,000 gas and groceries giveaway. You can enter at 9890theanswer.com. What if you won 10 grand? You could spend it on gas and groceries. What if you won a second or a third prize, $500, $1,000? Man, oh man, it'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Well, you can't win if you don't enter. You got to go to 9890theanswer.com and enter once each day through the end of this month. Or you can complete bonus entries and you can gain an additional chance to win. There are lots of ways to win at 9890theanswer.com. You can win tickets to the movie Reagan. Check it out and find your favorite podcast, maybe a new podcast, one you don't know about. Lots of great content at 9890theanswer.com and plenty of chances to win. Check it all out, 9890theanswer.com. Hour number 2, Bruce Hooley Show. We will talk with Matt Mayer, OpportunityOhio.com, OpportunityOhio.org, and Ohio Matt on Twitter. We talk to Matt every Thursday at 12:05, and his latest Substack rocks it. Brings it right down to a granular level. Immigration, Springfield, Ohio, Columbus with Andrew Ginther. He thought he was just bad on cybersecurity. Matt will explain it all to you because we delve into his Substack every week. And we'll get his thoughts on the presidential debate. And then at 12:35, a special treat. One of my favorite Ohio legislators, Beth Lear. She represents District 61, which is parts of Lewis Center, Fredericktown, Centerburg, areas like that. Beth is completing her first term in the Ohio House. And if you think somebody who gets elected to the Ohio House just sits in the back and listens, you might be right. Particularly on Democrats who just follow whatever Allison Russo, the hack Democrat from Upper Arlington, tells them to do. Not that. Beth Lear, not that kind of person. Beth Lear has gotten a ton done, and she has a great agenda for her second term. She has my full endorsement, so we'll talk to Beth Lear at 12:35. Right now, we want to talk to Mike in Hilliard. He's called 844-TALK-989. He's on the Bruce Hooley Show. Hi, Mike. Mike. All right, Mike is going. So let's delve into more on the debate the other night. Immigration and inflation, those are issues that Donald Trump scores very highly in. Those are issues, understandably, why David Muir and Fact Check Barbie tried to take Donald Trump down. Let's talk about immigration, okay? Cruel Trump. We can't have him back in office because he put kids in cages, right? That's what they tell you. Well, what does the government tell us? I mean, the government is run by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, is it not? U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, he tells us all the time, oh, border is secure. We are so compassionate. We don't put kids in cages. No, you don't put kids in cages. You put them in factories. You put them in flop houses. You put them in human trafficking. The Inspector General for the United States Department of Homeland Security, that's your department, Alejandro, issued an alert 4 days ago to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement to make it aware of an urgent issue. What is the issue? That ICE is incapable of monitoring hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied children released into the country by the Biden-Harris administration. Did I miss that part? Did I miss that fact check from David Muir? I think I did. Oh, he missed it too. What kind of research did David Muir do for his debate? None. Zero. How many kids, Bruce? 366,000. 366,000 kids. Thankfully, Chuck Grassley, senator from Iowa, has been investigating this. He says lax vetting has placed migrant children in grave danger of exploitation and abuse and makes locating these children after placement difficult. The report, again, this is an Inspector General's report to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, found that ICE agents did not issue court immigration hearing appointments to all the unaccompanied children, even those who were flagged to be removed from the country despite being required by federal law to do so. So the law says they have to give them a court appointment. Ones that were flagged to be taken out, maybe they have ties to gangs, who knows why, they were confounding federal law in these cases. And then from January 2021, who took office then? Oh, that's right, Joe Biden. To February of 2024, one audit found that 200,000 immigration cases were dismissed because DHS didn't file paperwork with the courts in time to schedule the hearings. Well, that's one way to flood the country with illegals, is just not give them a court appointment on time. Okay, let's switch to the other topic. On Wednesday night, excuse me. Was it Wednesday night? I want to forget it. Anyway, on which Kamala Harris was allowed to lie and lie blatantly. And Fact Check Barbie was allowed to lie and lie blatantly. There is no state in the United States where killing a child after they are born is legal, right? Well, I looked it up. I assume Fact Check Barbie has a staff that could do it too. Would you like to know the number of states where there are no restrictions on abortions? None. Alaska, abortion is legal with no limit. Colorado, abortion legal with no limit. Minnesota, abortion legal with no limit. New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Puerto Rico, Vermont, Washington, D.C. So it does happen. It happened in Minnesota. Second trimester abortions allowable in Virginia, California, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Nevada, New Hampshire, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, U.S. Virgin Islands, Washington, Kansas, Alaska. So there you go. There you go. Babies who are viable outside the womb, allowed to be killed. Virginia, I'm surprised they have restrictions. Here's Virginia Representative Katie Tran, was this 2019, advocating for a bill. Trump misspoke. He talked about Virginia. He talked about West Virginia. He meant Virginia. Then he finally got it right the second time. This is how extreme Democrats are on abortion. Just give you a flavor of her testimony. I don't know why that's not playing. It should be playing. Everything's sound up and everything. That's a mystery. Let's try another site. Same video. Abortion advocate Katie Tran, a legislator in Virginia.
Delegate Tran.
Yes, sir.
How late in a pregnancy would your bill apply if a physician was simply willing to certify that the continuation of the pregnancy would impair the mental health of the woman? How late are we talking about?
Well, so the way the suggestion that we've made in the bill is to say it's in the third trimester and at the, with the certification of the physician. So
how late in the third trimester would you be able to do that?
It's very unfortunate that our physicians, witnesses, were not able to attend today to speak specifically.
No. It's unfortunate because she doesn't want to answer it.
How late in the third trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman? Okay. I'm talking about the mental health.
So,
which is an easier bar.
Third trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Okay, but to the end of the third trimester.
Yep, I don't think we have a limit in the bill.
So, where it's obvious that a woman is about to give birth, she has physical signs that she is about to give a birth, would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified? She's dilating.
Mr. Chairman, that would be a decision that the doctor, the physician, and the woman.
I understand that. I'm asking if your bill allows that.
My bill would allow that, yes.
But it doesn't happen anywhere in the United States. It happened 8 times in Minnesota under Tim Walz. It's happening all over the country. They don't want to admit it because it's gruesome, because it would lose them votes. They know it. They want a stupid electorate. They want an uninformed electorate. They are unfit to serve. They are ghouls.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Have been trying to put Donald Trump in prison for the rest of his life for classified. Hey guys, have a great day. Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.